The kidnapping and ultimate murder of Chris Baghsarian, an innocent 85-year-old man from Sydney's north, is, I would say, Moz, one of the most horrific and inexplicable cases that we have had to cover in quite a long time.
Well, you've had a shorter career than me, but in the 40-odd years, I can't remember a kidnapping gone wrong that has resulted in death like this in the Underworld. I think for the last 2 weeks, Sydney has kind of been gripped and hoping against hope that somehow this elderly man, totally innocent, would be found alive. I think you know the details. He was grabbed by a criminal syndicate who believed they could extort money out of a Sydney businessman, and they actually had horrendous video, didn't they, of the victim?
Yeah, so Chris Baghsarian was taken about 5 a.m. on Friday, February 13 from his home in North Ryde. There's that CCTV that shows him being, bundled into an SUV and then driven off by a group of at least 3 men. I think for the next few days we all wondered, where he'd been taken. Well, on the Saturday night, so about 36 hours later, video surfaced of him being held by his captors, and also photos surfaced, which we've never run.
No.
Because they are pretty graphic and pretty confronting. Anyway, they surfaced because they'd been used as part of an attempt, as you said before, was to try and get a ransom out of a Sydney businessman. But because they'd grabbed the wrong bloke, that Mr. Baghsarian had no link to that businessman, so there was no reason for him to pay.
And the ransom was like $50 million.
It was an extraordinary amount.
And now that was from a man in Sydney who was a former armed robber, but is now considered a businessman, has some links to a clothing company which is promoted by some of the Alameddine clan. Now, whether they thought that this man had made a lot of money from this, and that's how they could try and get some money by grabbing a family member, that's all going to be part of the investigation now. But very much the entire 2 weeks, police have not really thought anything about the target. Their whole aim has been trying to find and locate the man that had been taken. And unfortunately, after, you said 13 days, his body was found near a golf course in northwestern Sydney.
Yeah, so to go through the timeline, he's taken on Friday morning. Saturday around early afternoon, police make an extraordinary public appeal where they say
they had the wrong man.
I've never heard them come out and say that before. That night, the videos begin to emerge and photos through the underworld of Mr. Baghsarian being held captive. I think when Mr. Baghsarian wasn't released safely on the Sunday, police began to become increasingly worried that the kidnappers hadn't realised that they had the wrong person and set him free or dumped him, anywhere in Sydney. By Monday, they were extremely worried. Publicly, they continued to say that they were, searching for him and hoping to find him. I, would say by the middle of the week, they believed there was pretty much no chance of that happening. Sunday afternoon, they began searching paddocks in Glenorrhea in Sydney southwest. By Tuesday morning, they make this horrific discovery. You got a feel for Chris Baghsarian's family. No criminal links, no links to the underworld, totally innocent. As you said before, Moz, when we've seen kidnappings in the past, even when they are innocent people who have done nothing criminal themselves, there's often a criminal link to somebody else.
Nearly everyone I've known, apart from many, many years ago, kidnapping was a bit of a flavour where people would be kidnapped from wealthy families and held for ransom. I can't remember any dying apart from one way back when, where a child was abducted from a family who had won a lot of money in the lottery very publicly. Otherwise, they've nearly every single kidnapping in the last 20 years that I know of has had criminal links. One which probably ended up in death was a guy called Raphael Joseph, who was a well-known crook about 10 years ago. He was kidnapped. Police are pretty certain what they know would happen. I think they were going to try and extort him for his drugs. He ended up probably being put in the barrel of acid, out not far from where police are searching now. But as you said, to get the wrong person and not release him when it was so public, police are saying, please, you got the wrong man. Let him go. We don't care where or how.
No, it was horrific. I think, as you say, kidnappings have become far more prevalent in Sydney's underworld. A lot of the focus in recent years has been on shootings, assassinations, if you will. But these days, the robbery and serious crime squad, as they are known, really the majority of what they are dealing with recently is kidnapping.
And they're underworld kidnappings, and they're now associated very much with torture, with fingers being cut, toes being cut. We've seen that in the past. We had one young man who was innocent, remember, held for 5-6 days, and we ended up going to where they'd kept him, which was a fairly squalid house out near Belmore. But again, he happened to be the friends of a crook, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, totally.
So-
There's always been some kind of link, but not in the case of Mr. Baghsarian. Completely innocent, wrong house. Now for police, I know you said before that they have been largely focusing on trying to get him back, you know, ideally alive, and then just to recover his body in more recent times. But the focus now for police is on catching those responsible. I think, you know, the head of the robbery serious crime squad at the minute is Andrew Marks, long time experienced investigator, previously worked on some of the most, you know, high profile homicides in this state.
And the one called the collar bomb, where a young girl had what was thought to be a bomb paste around her neck.
Yeah.
He and his partner, they relentless in tracking down the man responsible for that, and he's known for that.
And I mean, for him to come out today and use the word outraged, you know, considering some of the things he's seen and investigated, that says everything that you need to know about this case. So they are hell-bent on finding those responsible.